This is Kibera, where the School of Little Prince story began. Kibera is 8 kilometers from the city center of Nairobi and has 8 villages. The slums lack infrastructure and basic services. Since Kibera is located on a government gazetted land, it is thus often not included in the city plans and budget for the provision of the public services. Except for main roads that cut through only 3 villages out of the 7, there are no roads for vehicle success. There are only footpaths and trails connecting the structures to the roads. Many have small businesses along the roadside, along what is known as Kibera Drive. It is in this environment, this apparently pathetic environment, that the story of Little Prince began. 2001, in June, 7 children supported by AFSI started meeting for remedial classes with a teacher. From these 7 began a community, a companionship, and a school that has grown and developed in an unforeseen way. The population of Kibera is about 800,000. The houses are made of mud and iron sheet. AFSI began its work in Kibera because on one hand they were moved to begin a school as a passion for the ideal, that is, the desire and the responsibility to communicate what we know of reality and what has struck us more because education is an introduction to the total reality. This moved us, this involved us consciously so as to share this knowledge. Hence, the school became a locus for this gesture. In the year 2003, the school was moved to a new site because of the need for space and future development, and partly also because of the new government's policy. With the help of a donor, the construction of a new school began, which was completed in 2004 and officially inaugurated in May 2005. The school has 8 classrooms, 3 offices, a theater, a dining hall, and a kitchen. The activities of the school, they include teachers training. The educative journey for the child is made possible by the figure of a teacher. As such, teachers' formation is imperative. The school organizes training courses for teachers, before with Icarus, but of late organized more internally in the school, weekly meeting where the head teacher meets the teachers to assess and judge the reality of the school in the preceding week. The school has also been in link with Matteo School, Bachelet in Milan, Cernusco, whom we have established a very cordial relationship, not only for the students, but for the teachers as well. The activities of the school also include art and music. It is noteworthy that the 2 subjects are never taught in many Kenyan schools because they are not examinable. We, however, have included them in our program because the children really enjoy them. We acknowledge that to educate the sensibility of a child in the primary school is always in the function of all the other subjects. It is through the sensibility that the child begins to know and understand. So as to bring awareness in the child about the important liturgical moments, e.g. Christmas, the school prepares dances, songs, and plays. This is guided by Porcia Esposito, who is the pedagogical deputy in the school and who is in charge in many of the arts and drama involved there.
Alla Little Prince, per quanto riguarda le attività dirette con i bambini, mi occupo delle attività artistico-espressive che iniziano con la lettura di un racconto o di un libro e si approfondiscono con la critica del libro e arriva alla realizzazione di una rappresentazione teatrale. Questo lavoro coinvolge tutti i bambini, dalle materne alle medie, e tutti gli insegnanti. Il motivo per cui ci interessava fare questo lavoro era la comunicazione di un metodo che fosse interattivo e fosse impostato sulla relazione. In un mondo come quello africano, dove il rapporto educativo è molto autoritario e molto impostato sulla ripetizione meccanica. Abbiamo realizzato già tante rappresentazioni teatrali. Siamo partiti dalla rappresentazione del Piccolo Principe di Antoine de Saint-Exupéry, perché è il libro che dà il titolo alla scuola. Da quello abbiamo poi lavorato su Pinocchio, sul Mago di Oz e Peter Pan. Ovviamente ogni anno ripresentiamo la rappresentazione del presepe vivente, perché è un'occasione per noi per vivere il Natale. Il frutto di questo lavoro in questi anni è stato sicuramente vedere la maturità e la crescita totale della personalità dei nostri bambini, e che adesso alcuni sono anche alle secondary school e a detta dei presidi hanno una vivacità culturale, una curiosità che altri non hanno. L'evidenza che si è mostrata in questo lavoro è che il cuore di tutti è fatto per il bello e che una proposta educativa si pone solo se il cuore è un'attrattiva, solo se si arriva a sfidare il cuore.
Trips and outings. I am always struck by the beaming and the excited faces of the children after coming from school trips. They are always very happy and talk about it all the week. Trips and outings are organized for each class once a term. They are important since children need to have a direct experience of specific aspects of reality. Since these outings have a link of what is taught in the classrooms, teachers therefore become very key in planning these outings. The figure of the adult is imperative. Indeed, the adult is at the center of any educative process, the fulcrum of the educative happening. At the primary school age, children are naturally open to reality. They want to know and understand. In fact, the task of a primary school teacher is to help the unfolding in an organic and systematic way the links and the meaning of what is encountered and known by the child. This is made possible by the figure of the teacher, who accompanies the child, sharing in the experience of knowledge and in answering the many questions the child has. This is why in our school, a class teacher embodies a grand responsibility to the point of reference for children in his or her class.
My name is Hiram Mushiri. I'm a teacher here. If life, as we have always been told, is an introduction to reality, and this is something that we have verified ourselves and seen that it is completely true. I feel, as an introduction to reality, what I also introduce to my children, what I give to my children, should lead to them getting more aware of themselves. And getting more aware of themselves means they get educated, they get life. This is a reality. This is the beauty of what we do.
Apart from this, we have done the exam, the national exam 2 years ago, 2008, and the performance was very good. From this, we have taken the children, some of them, to Cardinal Tunga. Here is a sign of a growth and development, because they expressed a desire to go to Cardinal Tunga so that they may continue what they began here in Little Prince. They found that it is important, the life they were living here, and they found the extension of this life in the secondary school in Cardinal, which share the same experience with Little Prince. However, Cardinal Tunga is not a boarding school. It is a day school, unlike many of the schools in Nairobi. Since there is no place for them to rest, and since many come from Kibera, that is far from Cardinal Tunga, about 20 kilometers away, there is a family friend that has come out and expressed the need to stay with them, to share with them. This is the family of Mr. Kamande and the wife and the sons, who have welcomed these 5 boys and 2 girls into this house.
Mimi naishi na hawa watoto kutoka Kibera. Ni watoto wa 6, tumejitolea na familia yetu kuishi nao.
Here they live like in a family. They eat together. They play together. They also pray together. And since it's very near the school, they walk to school and back home. Here they live like a home, as I said, and they help Mr. Kamande and the family with all the activities. What is impressive is the way they express the desire to stay with this family, and most of all, the way they find the secondary school so different from others, since some of them, like Ignatius, had already been in another school, and there it was practically impossible to stay, since there was a lot of mistreatment from both the students and the teachers.
Yeah, I'm Ignatius Juma, a former student of Little Prince School. Yeah, I can't call it a school, I can just call it a family, because this is where people help to grow, to understand more themselves and to know who they are. So after accomplishing my standard 8, I came and I was admitted in Cardinal Tunga School, the school that I'm studying in now. And here everything is perfect. The method of teaching, the way the teachers relate with the students, the teachers, the way they handle problems, and everything is just perfect. The teachers are ready to help people, just like at Little Prince. So you feel at home and you feel ready to learn, and I'm very sure that after the 4 years which I'm here, heading somewhere, I can say that this is a complete family where one really needs to grow, and you grow knowing who you are and what you are up to.
As a school, we are ever grateful for the work AFSI is doing with the parents for their self-sustenance. AFSI has initiated income-generating activities among the parents. This is geared towards avoiding dependency and sustaining self-development, exploring the potentiality of the parents. Thus, it means that to educate the children, it is also imperative to educate their parents so that they may live a decent life. Some of our parents are now able to put food on the table for their children, because although the school may provide food here, when the child goes home, he is with the parents. Therefore, these activities are very, very important, because they enable the parents to pay their rent, to provide food also, and clothing for their children.
My name is Angelina Nyambo. I've been a widow since the year 1998. And my children who have been supported by AFSI 4. So the last one is in Little Prince, Standard 7, by the name Benedict Okumu. I began this project 7 years ago, and it is useful to me because AFSI are supporting me education-wise and uniform. But on the side of shelter, I get money from this project for paying the house rent, for buying food for the children. It is useful. Even sometimes the AFSI usually order these bags from me, and sometimes I sell them from other people outside.
My name is Esther Njogu. We started this program when I discovered that though our children, the offices are mostly sponsored by the AFSI, that is mostly in education, paying for their school fees, there are some other needs in our homes that we needed to settle. And the children needed to be clothed, they need to be fed, and so we came up together with the parents. We came to a point that we decided to start generating activity so as to support our
our children more.
I always consider Little Prince as a second home for these children, because our children come from a bit sensitive background, the slum of Kibera, and most of them you'll discover that they're either from single mothers, single fathers, orphans, and even some completely in a very vulnerable situation. For these I receive children who are a bit imbalanced emotionally, and who are looking for a place, and most important, for someone to love them, to care for them. This is why for me it is very important that a school becomes a home for them, a place where they can feel they are loved, they are wanted. And not that we take the place of the family, no, but we want to have a place where is a home, far away from home. And the main aim of the school, really, even the aim of beginning the school, was to not only to offer an academic, intelligent place for them to excel academically, but to introduce them to life, to introduce them to the whole of reality. In fact, I always say the main aim of the school is to fashion a new person, to fashion a new being, one who is able to face life amicably, one who is able to relate with people, to relate with things, to relate with everything that he encounters in his life. And for this reason, our approach includes the adult, that is the parent and the teacher, because we acknowledge the fact that the child is unrepeatable, is a being that is already, and despite the problem, despite where he comes from, he has an eternal worth, an eternal value, which we cannot reduce, which we have to value, which we have to cultivate for, opening him, introducing him slowly to life, slowly through the teachers, through the family where he comes from. Now, I want to speak about the educational criteria of the school, because it is very important for us as adults in the school to understand in which way do we relate with the children, in which way do we approach education in our school. For this reason, Little Prince has educational criteria that we always insist, I always insist in the meetings with the teachers, in the relations with the teachers, and also in the relation with the parents. Because it is very important that a school be guided for its own identity. First and foremost, we are a Catholic school, and therefore our tradition is Catholic. And our first criteria is the value of the person, because the first and main good is the person of the child. A child is good, and as such he has to be welcomed, he has to be esteemed and guided, so that his personality may grow and develop. The school operates in respect for the unity of the person, and in giving value to each child and what each child is able to do. Our second criteria is the primacy of the family. In fact, we acknowledge the family as the original and primary place where the experience of the child begins. Because at home, the child is given the first criteria to face life. He's given the first hypothesis by the mother, by the father, by the aunt, by whoever guardian is living with his child. And this criterion is the first he uses to judge what he sees. And then our school becomes a second place. From the family, the school becomes only a place where, through the help of the teachers, verifies what he has already found at home. Therefore, the primacy of the family cannot be underestimated. It is an essential part.